My darling beauties, that's where we're going today. We're going to go to Mount Gelmir. We're going to Mount Gelmir. Let's talk a little bit about what we've done in the past few days. The big thing that we did 2 days ago, or 2 streams of Elden Ring ago, is we cleared out the Altus Plateau. I'm certain I missed a bonfire or 2, / Site of Grace or 2, but couldn't quite really figure out where the heck they were. But we did successfully go through all the windmilly towns. We cleared out this lookout facing towards Mount Gelmir this way. And when we went here, we tried to run to this point, only to discover the bridge is down. So we realized, oh shit, I should probably start at the Grand Lift of Dectus and work our way this way to Seathwater River and work our way up like this to finally get here. Now, because mostly walking was canceled yesterday, we made our way up to the Shaded Castle and beat that puppy. So I thought that was a lot of fun to do yesterday. So now we're going to literally start at the Grand Lift of Dectus, make our way all the way up on up. A few little items of business. We are level 125? 127 from heaven, baby. Still continuing to add points to endurance so I can get a medium roll. They also nerfed my beautiful Great Shield Talisman, so I unfortunately will just be closer to 90 instead of close to 100% on the block. Also, our Ruins Greatsword, I discovered this morning, was patched and buffed to the recovery time. Ouch! Oh, my knuckles! The recovery time is a lot faster on the swingies. Yeah, no, I've seen this before. That hurt quite a bit. Oh. Too real? Yeah. Yeah, no, my knuckles are... They're not doing well. Not gonna lie, they're not doing well. Yeah, no, skip it. I've done this before. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna begin the journey to Mount Gelmir by starting here, heading through the Lux Ruin and the Erd Tree Gazing Hill. Head up all through this area to the Seathwater River entrance. Now, I'm going to mute the game because I have another little item of business. Doing kind of like a first-time style promotion for some friendies of mine. Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me eliminate the cat meows really fast. All right. Some friendies of mine are working on a game called Spellcraft. And normally when we do like sort of promotion sponsorships here, I'm playing the game and I'm talking about the game that I'm playing. Hey. Where are you at? Where are we meowing from? Sheriff. Oh, from up there? No. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. You know, the thing about this cat is there's times when I have taken a spray bottle and gone, and you know what she does? She just sits there. And she just goes, it's devastating. So I literally have to go over and I have to move, physically pick up and move the cat. What? All right. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, so typically when we do sponsorships, promotions on the stream, I am playing a game that I enjoy, talking about the systems of it, talking about what's going on with it. But today we're going to do something a little different, all right? Because I'm not going to be playing it on stream. And in fact, I can't even tell you until we've watched this little trailer, all right? Okay, hold on. Footage captured in-engine. Very important. Because of how often people are like, here's some footage that will not be in the final game. Here's some games that I've played before. All right. Dun-dun, dun-dun. All right. Ooh, dramatic music. Oh. Ah! Ah! Introducing Spellcraft. Yeah, so my buddies work on this game, and again, normally I talk about how the game works and what's going on, but they're doing an alpha where they're trying to just get a bunch of people in to give feedback and, frankly, to just play the game, right? Play the game, give feedback, this sort of thing. So I am not supposed to tell you how the game works because you need to be a good feedback giver. Okay, you need to be a good feedback giver. In the comments below, they describe it as real-time tactics, which, from my play experience of the game, actually, I think that's actually really accurate. I think it's actually on point. But I got the chance to play it a couple of times, and there's one thing that these devs did that I liked a great deal. As someone that does streaming, you know something that happens a lot? Someone will be like, Sean, come here. We want you to play our game, give us some feedback. All right, I do that, give the feedback, and I say, hey, when are you targeting release? And they'll go, 6 weeks. And I'm like, well, when would you have any time to incorporate any of this feedback? You know, what's the change going to actually be? And I mean, sometimes it makes sense in context because they're going to release and they're going to keep shifting after launch or whatever. But with One More Game, the developers, I talked to them, and then the next time I went and talked to them, the game was similar, but they changed quite a bit, and it was actually like really nice to see the change occur over time and how they're able to connect it not just to what I was talking about, what other people were talking about. And that was really cool. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I mean, I straight up was like, "Oh yeah, I'll play this game when it launches." Like, absolutely, this. It was like so many of the issues that I was concerned about in the first few times I played. I was just like, "Oh, okay, great, cool." So, if you have any interest in anything that I enjoy, said Sean, cleverly not spoiling any of what the game's like, you can go to this website here. We got a link spamming in the chat. I'm going to mention it a couple times throughout this week's streams. I'd be delighted if you got the chance to check it out. I really like the people that work on this, and what they're doing is... as It's Min Min was asking me, what's the game genre? I think real-time tactics really captures it. It's kind of an interesting blend of stuff you've seen before with some new twists, and it's assembled in an interesting way, Sean said, answering essentially nothing at all. Yashi Akuma says, anyone's get an error when trying to sign up? Error, pragma error? Oh my god, I hope so much. I hope so much that we are just overwhelming their servers. Oh my god, I hope so much so that we're tanking their servers. Oh, and also, it's a free alpha. So, you know, the big thing that I'd love for you to do is just to play it, experience it, enjoy it. Is that did I miss a bonfire right here? Huh. You can literally see the swirls. Can't believe I've done this. But yeah, yeah, when you're playing it, it's free. You can just hop in and play, and I'm sure that there's going to be all sorts of data collection happening behind the scenes, but I want to stress something really important. Actually, I want to stress something while I have this up. If you go play in their alpha, and you're from this community, I want you to represent us well. I want you to represent us well here. And here's the thing. Giving good feedback is hard. And there is one way that you can always reliably give good feedback by thinking in terms of descriptive feedback versus prescriptive feedback. Descriptive means, here's what I was feeling, here's what I was thinking, here's what I was reacting to. Oh, I was expecting this, and I was disappointed when this happened. Or I was confused at first, and now I started to have some fun. You're just describing what's going on in your brain. You're describing what you're observing. You're describing what you're concluding. You're describing what you're feeling. What you're not doing is saying, you guys should change this. You should do that. Oh, if this game had this, I would like it more. You're not suggesting changes and how those changes would affect the game. you're suggesting how you are present tense reacting to this. And also, hey, looks like we have Hot Degs in the chat. What up, Hot Degs? Says, hey, Sean and all, I'm a dev here. If you're having any issues registering for Alpha, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Yeah, well, I mean, this is the internet, Hot Degs. If we're having any issues, we're going to scream at the top of our lungs in whatever we so wind up doing. Well, this is a very convenient one. So let's make our way towards the Lux Ruins. Towards Mount Gelmir. Now, we could go on horse, but we're going to be walking. Charles says, I've signed up, no issues at all. Sick. Sick, sick, sick. Oh, these guys. Oh, I love slaying these babies. Look at my new and improved great sword. Oh. Good cat. You mean the whole descriptive, prescriptive feedback thing comes from originally a lot of lectures by Brandon Sanderson, but then other authors as well, including those that are on the Writing Excuses podcast. You know, like, and, you know, the way that they had described it in the past. This sword rules. The way they described it is that it's really easy. For instance, let's imagine a book is 99% done, or that a game is 99% done. Types of comments people will make, you know, are things like, ooh, you should change the tutorial to say this, or in a book, okay, well, first chapter, looks like this character's motivation isn't clear. I think we really need to clarify that in the first few pages, you know, et cetera, et cetera. All right, hold on, I'm swinging. Oh, yeah, excellent. Where is this last Screamy baby? I don't see him at all. Oh, hey. Oh, hi. What is the matter with you? I'm right here. But yeah, like, if let's say your book is 99% done, you know, an editor might be like, main character's motivation's not clear. Those really need to be leveled up, you know, to make sure that if someone's reading through this chapter, they understand that this is not a romantic comedy. This is actually like a murder mystery. I am so bad at naming. But imagine a book is 50% done. You don't know what the main characters even are. You only know maybe a few plot points, maybe even the genre. Maybe you're not sure if you want to go more thrillery or more actiony. There's tons of stuff that's undecided. And so, you know, you can imagine if you were saying to an author at this point in time, if you were saying something like, okay, you need to change the motivation for, you know, Helen in chapter 1. I think it should be like this and this. I mean, the author might go, yo, dude, I don't even know if Helen's going to be a character in 2 weeks. Like, what? Tell me what was going on with you mentally. And sort of in the same way, what will make feedback for a game really good. You bastard. So, you know, in this book example... Dude. In this book example... Excuse me. In this book example, if you just said things like, I was really confused as to what the motivation of the character was. Despy, god damn it. Get out of here. Stop stepping on my mixers. If you said something like, I was really confused in chapter 1 as to what the main character's motivations were, then all of a sudden the author might go, oh, really? I thought I was nailing that. Oh, well, that's easy enough. I actually cut a part that I think will solve this, right? They've thought about it. They've already addressed it. Things are great. And I feel like games, especially system-driven games, which is much more what, which is way, way, way more like what Spellcraft is. is a system-driven game, and the developers have spent way more time than you or I have thinking about the problems, trying to address the issues, trying to fix problems. Oh, I haven't beaten this boss, eh? I must have been very frightened when I got to the plateau. I spent way more time. So if I say something like... And I remember I gave them feedback that was... God, how do I not spoil? I was reacting and pointing out to there was a moment where I had there was a spike in complexity, and I felt very disoriented, and I wasn't sure how to swim through it. And they were just like, okay, we know we've been having this discussion internally. We have this specific idea that we think addresses it, and next time you play, we might even have a version of that. Next time I played, they had a version of that, and I was like, yep. Yep. Holy shit. I am so strong. I am so strong. So, I mean, like, you know, if I had, in that interaction with the devs, been like, you need to do this, and change to this, and change it to this, if you had given me a million years, I would not have come up with the solution that they had come up with to the problem I was having in my first playtest. So, my request to you, darlings... Ritual Sword Towel. My request to you is that, if any of you are interested in playing Spellcraft, which again, I encourage all of you to do, it's free alpha, we're going to be plugging them all day to day. Again, some of my buddies are working on this game, so be supportive. When you're giving feedback, stick to describing your reactions. Stick to describing your reactions. Describing what's going on in your brain. Raise attack power when HP is at maximum. Well, my HP is never at maximum, so don't need that. Yeah, I think giving descriptive feedback is a really valuable way to go about it, because I know they're trying to get a lot of data from this playtest. Atros 1981 says, one thing I think I remember seeing in some talk or other way. Oh yeah, this is a Mark Rosewater quote. Players are great at finding problems, but they're not great at finding solutions. And that specific line is a Rosewater-ism, but I mean, I have heard 1,000,001 devs describe it in 1,000,001 different ways. And I think that what I'm talking about is even a little deeper than that, which is, you know, if someone says, okay, great, I need to be good at finding problems, not solving them, what then should I do? What's a cue for how I should change my behavior or think about my behavior? That would allow me to spend time by myself solving this problem all alone. And I think the answer is thinking in terms of description instead of prescription. Mirrodin90 says, never liked Rosewater. How ironic of you to say, Mirrodin90, with a name of a plane from Magic the Gathering? Huh? I've caught you! I've gotcha! Ha 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 ha! Mark didn't come up with Mirrodin, though. Mark Rosewater, who's the lead designer of Magic the Gathering, is just, I think, an incredible leader in terms of steering the product and guiding the product. He may not have created Mirrodin. I assume that he was at the company when Mirrodin was there, or when Mirrodin was created. Mark Rosewater regularly, he was the lead designer for Mirrodin. May I post the link? Sure. Sure, why not? Why the hell not? Oh yeah, it's my tibia bear. Where is he? Where is he? Ah, I've got him. Dude, this swing is so much faster. Sword is incredible. Ow. Oh, okay, I was talking about something, but I got distracted. Why is the swing faster? They patched it today. As if. Oh yeah, Mark Rosewater muted. Yeah, like, Mark Rosewater is a great example of someone who I think has done just brilliantly at structuring sets in ways that are really exciting to players where, you know, like, I hate Mana Screw as much as the next guy. And maybe this particular issue... around Mana Screw, we might say, you know, I think he's in error. But, I mean, you know, Mark Rosewater talks about, like, dude, people think counter spells aren't fun because they don't like getting their stuff countered. But it's really, really fun to counter spells. People talk about mana being really obnoxious with the land system and how it should change, but it actually does all these really positive things. It makes you surprised. It makes you reevaluate your plan. It creates a bunch of really interesting problems when you have non-ideal mana, and that a lot of the fun in the game comes from that. Now, again, I hate Mana Screw. I hate Mana Screw, you know, things like this, but I think card games are a particularly interesting one to examine in the context of what I'm talking about. Oh, shit. Dude, this sword feels so much faster. This is insane. Well, the card games are a really interesting one in the discussion of feedback giving and what players say, because there have been a ton of card games that came out where the developers were former Magic players, or in some cases former Magic pros, and they made a game that really addressed these core problems, and we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix these issues. And I mean, you know, some of them is like Hearthstone. Is Hearthstone a good game? Hearthstone is a balling game. Oops. Ah, there it is. Yeah, there's tons of games that have come and gone that have never been anywhere near as successful as Magic the Gathering. Like, not even remotely as successful as Magic the Gathering. And despite all these certain problems they were fixing, oh me, oh my, you know, again, and this is in the idea of, oh, I'm a player, I want to make a card game that fixes the problems that I have with the game. And if you listen too much to players, or players listen too much to themselves, honestly, you can wind up with something that's just like, kind of feels like nothing. Has no heights of joy. No frustrations that when you overcome, you feel like a badass. And so on. This is all to say, if any of you are playing Spellcraft and you're coming from here and you're giving some feedback, descriptive versus proscriptive. Excuse me, prescriptive. I'll be honest, I actually don't know how to pronounce the word. Prescription versus proscription. Because a lot of people say prescription. I need to go pick up my prescription as opposed to prescription. I don't know. There's also proscription, which is like this. The Frenzied Flame proscription, which is something different. But yeah, I don't actually know how to pronounce, like, a medical prescription. I say prescription. There's a lot of skeleton babies here, man. There's a lot of them. There's also inscription. That is true, Nefarious. That is very true. Honk, honk, honk. Come here, you fuckface. But yeah, if you have any questions about Spellcraft, because I've played, I'm not going to fucking answer them. They're trying to get good data. They're trying not to have it be spoiled by your pal Day 9. So if you have any questions, don't fucking ask me. What is the matter with you? I'm kind of pissed. Dirgia says, what's Spellcraft? I'm not telling you. I'm not going to tell you a thing. Jesus. Give me a break. Alternatively, you can type exclamation mark Spellcraft and the link is there. There you go. Cool scythe, bro. It is a good day to scythe, he said. So what direction is this pointing in? Dirty says, yeah, I probably should check the command. No, you shouldn't have. You ruined the opportunity for the joke. I'm glad you were here. You set it up. King Cole says, first rule, don't talk about Spellcraft. That would be an amazing advertising game. We're releasing a game. Fuck you, we're not telling you anything. Don't ask. Thoro says, Day 9 TV, writing a story. MC is disassociating, losing grip on reality. Some readers complain it's hard to follow, shifting perspective. Sort of the point, but I still want to improve. Any thoughts? What do you mean by MC? I'm assuming main character, or you could be referring to what I do professionally at events. Which means that there's someone with a microphone MCing an event, and they keep disassociating and losing grip on reality, which is also something I do professionally. I'm assuming main character. Secret 42 says, so they're advertising their game the way that perfume and cologne ads do to describe their scents with an overly artistically obscure implications. Exactly, that's right. It's just like... It's like some celebrity who, as you know, is hot. Just hot celeb, man. Just doing something like walking across a seemingly endless lake surrounded by blue sky and mountains. And they're dancing, they're jumping up, they're jumping down, they're winking. They have a scarf even though it's clearly hot outside. And then the name of the cologne appears on screen. Exactly like that. Oh shit, I see what's going wrong. So the question from Toros' main character, great. So you're writing a story where there's this idea of dissociation, losing grip on reality. Some readers complain it's hard to follow, shifting perspective. Sort of the point, but still want to improve. Any thoughts? Yeah, this is actually one of the classic art school discussions, right? One of the classic creative school discussions. Another one being, what is art? What does it mean to be immersive? There's these sorts of bullshit questions that really allow people to kind of puff their chest out and sound sophisticated, and also start fist fights. The fuck are you talking about? I don't think that's immersive at all. Pearl Drake Talisman? What is a Pearl Drake Talisman? I don't know what that does. It's non-physical damage negation. Interesting. What other sorts of things? I mean, I guess I'll do the Great Shield Talisman. Let's actually do some measurements how good this shit is. But a classic creative school topic is, yeah, I didn't like this because it was confusing. Well, it's supposed to be confusing. You know? Particularly when it comes to storytelling. And, like, painting and photography. Well, it seems really abstract. Well, the purpose of it was to be abstract, you know. And the way that I approach this is that I'm hyper fucking pragmatic, right? I'm like super duper ultra pragmatic in pretty much everything that I do. You know, so for instance, the two game projects that we had here most recently was Disturbance of Day and Night TV Town and Straits of Danger that we did in collaboration with Big Bang. Like, there's certain things that those games are trying to be. Like, for instance, Disturbance of Day and Night TV Town was an interactive adventure starring all of you, all the members of chat, were playing, and they would make decisions that would sometimes result in the deaths of their peers. Oh me, oh my. Come back. And so there was a thing that the game was about, unrepentantly. It was about chaos. The story was written with chaos in mind. The things that were posed to players had a fundamentally chaotic tone to them. Like, the decisions would be things about, like, you know... Alright, like Eric's... When Eric had that section, because Eric did all the writing, when it was like, you order some bread and brie to eat. You sit down to have your first bites. Roll a d20. Right? Like, you know, that's so unbelievably fucking chaotic, right? It points everyone to and clarifies that the participation is chaotic. Right? So that's what we wanted. Oh, I timed that so well. Dude. Colossal swords are so good now. Holy shit. The attack feels so good. I don't know if nothing's changed and I'm crazy, but it feels amazing. But the thing is, just because we had a goal that we set out for, doesn't mean that I get to use that as a defense. If there's any other criticism. I don't know, the game was really confusing. Well, yeah, we're trying to make it chaotic, you know? Like... And if you're trying to say to yourself, okay, I'm writing a story that's about dissociation, that's about a warping of an individual character's understanding of reality, and the story is told through that lens. Though that may absolutely be the goal, there's lots of things unrelated to that goal that are questions and things that, frankly, just need answering. Oh, this is the entrance to Seethwater River. Oh, shit. Sick, dude. Fuck yes. I see. So these ruins form this entire upper hill. Oh, I got you. I knew you were here. I knew you were here. And so, you know, if I'm using some of my projects as a reference for you, Totoro, I would comment on things like, okay, so it's supposed to be disorienting and confusing because that's the experience of the main character. Does the reader's experience need to be confusing? if we take an example like, here's a really classic storytelling trope. We show that there is some scary thing coming, right? Like, the snipers are setting up. And the snipers are like, all right, we're going to fire through this window, and the person who steps through this window will be the president. And we're going to take him out at 4:05. And then it shows our characters in that building. The president's not going to be there. And they're like, hey, do you want to go play by this window? And it's 4:04. The viewer knows something terrible is going to happen. I don't even think I have enough for these. Actually, how much do these? The reader / viewer knows. The characters don't. You know, something like this. So I think when it comes to the types of goals you could state for your book, there's things like, okay, let's talk about some things, Totoro, that feel really crystal clear. What's your setting? Is your setting amplified and elevated and made a visceral first-class part of the story? Is a goal and question of this book, is this really clear? So, for instance, let's say that your character is constantly dissociated and checking in and checking out, which is very disorienting for them. But there is a through-line story question. Who murdered Roger? You know, when all of a sudden this component, endurance always, this component is crystal clear. What's going on with the murder? The reader now has a dead simple set of facts they're following and piecing together, independent of our hero. Oh yeah, sorry. This sword is a Ruins greatsword. Ruins greatsword +9. Claw mark seal. Maybe I should actually upgrade this thing. I really like this. It boosts bestial. Oops, incantations. What is it? Enhances? I don't know what enhances means, but I like things that are enhancing. This is the game. Alright, awesome. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I even see Memento getting referenced by, who referenced Memento? Oh, yeah, Marique. Yeah, Memento is a good example of a movie where facts and perspective and understanding is confusing, but the gist is really not. Who committed this crime? Who did this murder? These are the kind of things that can be incredibly grounding. Good God. It's a lightning dungeon. Appear to be anything up here. So, like, you know, what... I know what we're doing here. Still rules. Hello. Yo, what are the components to your story that might provide a basis to be clear and guided and concrete, in contrast to that confusing part? Because there's also completely different techniques that you can think about, which is like what are you actually trying to do with a book, right? What are you actually trying to do with most linear media? Well, if we're using a book as our reference, you're trying to get them to read the next page. And when they finish a chapter, you're trying to get them to read the next chapter. Right? What's the most common way that this is done in a book? Questions. Story questions. there was, I'm not going to remember the name of the book, but there was an author that did some sort of genre that is typically not considered like a page turner. It's typically considered kind of like trudgy and slow. Oh, hi guys. And very psychological in nature. The author wrote a real page turner. It was super compelling. And he was asked how he was able to do this. And he said that every chapter he tried to answer one clear storybook, one clear story question. Tried to answer one clear story question. He tried to present a new story question. And then tried to set up something that would be for a later story question. And I was like, oh, that's like really clear. It's like really good and really, honestly, profound in a lot of ways, even though it's so simple. Oh, hi. So, I mean, if at the end of chapter 1, something insane happens, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you want to go on to chapter 2. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then something insane happens at the end of chapter 2, and you're like, what the fuck? Incredible. So I think that a lot of times if someone said to me, your book was confusing, Sean, I wasn't sure what to make of it. I don't necessarily... Oh, whoops. I don't necessarily think that, for me, I would go, okay, I need to make it less confusing. I might go, alright, well, you know, let's assume I left it as confusing. And that, like, the confusion was going to stay there. Like, what are things that cause you to keep reading books? Oops. Because you're saying it's confusing, but when you read books, like, what tends to be what draws you through that reading experience? Maybe you'll learn that it's actually nothing to do with trying to take your work and make it less confusing. Maybe it's just that the prose is fucking boring. Maybe that's it. I mean, played some Dota this last weekend. I like Dota. But you can imagine Dota with boring heroes. Same systems, boring heroes. Yeah, by the way, for any of you that didn't know this, so here is R1. Alright, and then here's R2, which is the overhead. But if you crouch and do R1, you'll have different movesets. So that actually took me a while to understand when I would thrust. But if you're crouching, you'll do a very swift poke. I love this sword. Do you have different movesets? It does. So here's the left and right and swing. Same two hand as one hand. But this, instead of doing another slam, it does a sweep. And I think it does the same thing. And so Totoro, I would take the feedback that you received and try to add some dimension to it. Like, if we take this game as an example, this game has really slow combat. Hey, Mr. Gray Screen, gift in 5. Mr. Shadowcast TV, gifting 5. A happy Tuesday to you, my dudes. A happy Tuesday to you. Oh, Jesus. Happy Tuesday. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. This game is slow. And so let's imagine if this game were super sped up. Right? The combat was just happening 10 times as quickly. Now, let's not ask ourselves the question, well, would that be good? Would that be bad? Let's just observe that if the first iteration of this game's combat was 10 times as fast as this, if the only thing they did was slow down the gameplay, we would get this game. So, as a thought experiment, let's imagine what kind of feedback we might get if there were 10 different, or if it was 10 times as fast. Oh my god, I am blind. You can imagine feedback along the lines of, dude, you know, that, like, I really think that, like, daggers and short swords feel exactly the same. There's really no difference between them. You'd have comments about certain enemies, like, being stupid and unfun. This enemy design sucks. What am I looking for? Look for stone sword keys. Stone sword keys. How many do I have? I worry I'm low on them. No, I'm not at all. You know, you'd have comments like this. And again, I want to observe the comment. Lightning Scorpion Charm, fuck yeah. I want to observe the comment, this enemy is totally unfun, I hate it. Or, the daggers and the long swords and the short swords all feel the same. That's what you're hearing. But what is, as it turns out, an acceptable solution to that commentary? Slowing the whole game down. Now all of a sudden all these weapons feel different. Now all of a sudden these enemies that sucked feel better. So sometimes, if a reader said, hey, this is confusing, it doesn't mean that you need to address the confusing part. You should try to figure out what that means and what to do with that. Oh, also as a quick question, I actually have no idea how to determine what the impact of the Great Shield Talisman is. My testing showed that it's about 10%, but I'm not 100% on it. And I actually don't know how to tell what the net effect of this is, because it just says, greatly boosts guarding ability. And if I go to this Great Shield, it says 88. So I don't know how to actually determine that. I don't believe you can tell by any way outside of testing. Are you guys? Guys? Alright. I don't think we can go there. Ah, nice. Oh well. Somewhere a large door is open. So, to sort of wrap that up, I think that the common discussion that always happens in art school and creative programs is things like, oh, this thing is bad. Well, I wanted it to be bad. It's succeeding. I felt like this was confusing and kind of boring. It's supposed to be confusing and boring, right? And you want to not fall into that trap where you are refusing to improve your work because of some sort of faux intentionality defense, which, at the end of the day, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get your art or your work to really respond with people. Respond with people. You're trying to get your art to resonate with people. Try to get an emotional response to people. You're trying to do that. And so, with this feedback you're getting, I think it's important to deepen it, to nuance it, and to understand it, and try to elevate other things. Like, one of my favorite shows recently, believe it or not, is Severance. How surprised you must be to hear this from me for the first time. I'm fucking obsessed with Severance. I love Severance. That's an illusory wall. What? It's not. Oh, give me a break. See if this was the original. And I think that, like, Severance is very confusing and very disorienting, and it's absolutely abundantly clear in a lot of other ways, which makes it really great, which I really love. How do we get here, huh? Alright. Time to hunt. Time to hunt. And so, Totoro, I'm sort of exaggerating the idea of, like... God, I never remember that. I'm kind of exaggerating the idea of, like... Is that the wall? Is that the illusory one? Kind of exaggerating a little bit the idea of people rejecting and not understanding. Because you obviously haven't done that. You're literally trying to ask to understand better. You're doing the opposite of what I'm saying. But I still bring it up because I think it's very important to try to parse these kinds of things. You know, like, when it comes to... Huh? Oh, shit. Okay, let's do this. Let me get my longsword, dude. Let's check these back walls. Okay. Talk more in a second. It might be one of these upper walls. Plus, I haven't checked. Is this area straight ahead? Alright. Well, we got the information. Okay, I see. What an interesting and infuriating little moment. Time to hit every single... every little thing. Ah. Still fat rolling. Ooh, 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 is that a light roll? Oh, that's a medium roll? Dude, I didn't realize how lucky I had it. Fuck, fucking hell. Humdy, 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 dum, dum, dum. Alright, so I'm going to reevaluate this as I move backwards through the area. Every... Well, this is the tiltingest. Because look, I can see an entire area through here. Now, I've opted to try to stick to this side, because it feels like the squisher room is a reasonable candidate for where this stuff might be. Where's this illusory wall? What is this about? Huh. Alright, I mean, maybe I am crazy. It's fine. Could it really be? Could it really be? Could it really be? I don't know. I don't know. Is it really this? Alright, video game. Hit the fucking walls. Hit these walls. Yeah, you know? Yeah. I don't know how cool I'm imagining this. Could it be? You know, I'm just willing to take this risk. There's one place that we haven't tried yet. There's just one. One clear one that we haven't done yet. Which is underneath the big elevator. You saw me look under there. Oh, if we have to go through this again, then we have to go through it again. Hey, Hey, he avoids it. Yeah! So, are we willing to just give this a go? That was it? I mean, that was so easy. I mean, it's literally the first thing I looked at, and I went, oh, I'll try that later, because I couldn't tell if this was ankle-high water. Or what? When we navigate to the rainbow stones, and then the guy across the way threw his lightning thing at me, and I was like, alright, well, let me deal with this guy, and then I dealt with that guy, then there's a guy across the other side, and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's an illusory wall. Mamma mia. You hate to see it. Or in your case, you love to see it. Dude, these crabs are vicious. Oh, shit. Whew. Ancient Dragon Apostles Cookbook. Open up. I've done it. Crab just killed his brother, man, so these crabs are all about. Alright, let's do a bouse. Let's do a bouse. So Totoro, that's my long, every time. That's my rather long answer to the idea of if there's something going on. And, you know, if you're in the midst of writing a book, I think one of the real challenges of writing is that you can do whatever you want. You have no budgetary requirements, nothing. You just do anything, man. Anything at all that you feel like doing, sure, put it in. Get it in the book. Alright, I'm out of water, I'm out of coffee. This fucking sucks, bro. Well, I've been clipping through the hat. Well, how about this? It clips through everything now. Shadowcast is funny because I feel the same way about programming. Oh, every time. The gates are open. Off-White Foxes, watch out for the traps, Sean. Someone ban Off-White Fox for backseating. Oh, holy shit, it's our favorite. Yeah, I still do have that. Look at this, look at this. Lavort Pickles ball bearing. I mean, we are busted. We're busted powerful. Spooky noises. Alright, alright. Alright, let's turn to the entrance. There it is. It's my answer, Totoro. Don't ask me twice, because it took me like 45 minutes. Lethal Logicality, gifting 10. Lethal Logicality. I also got Give me more death root. Go wrong. Lethal Logicality. Thanks for the 10 gifties on this Beauty Tuesday. It's Beauty Tuesday. Alright, get ready.
Put it away. I won't forget. Again, mine appetite. My
Hell yeah.
sin. So please. Enough.
By the way, we're very lucky. We're very lucky. We weren't looking at the spoilers in chat. But don't spoil for me. Don't spoil, don't backseat. Don't tell me that this is normal. Don't tell me that this is expected. Don't tell me this is part of the game. Don't do that. Because you're ruining the fun experience I'm having.
Put it away. I want mine. So please.
So for instance, an available name writes, when this happened in my game, I was so sad I thought I had done something wrong. You've now informed me that this is the expected thing and that I didn't incorrectly change an experience line. Like, I want to frame, I understand that there is a point that later on you understood this to be a normal part of the game, but I didn't know that. For instance, I killed the witch Selen. Whoa! Why is my thing frozen? Killed the witch Selen, and that's going to have consequences. And I don't really know. I don't really know what. I don't know what effect that's going to have, and I'm content with that. Why can I not? There we go. Yeah, that sort of thing. Hey, buddy.
I won't forget. Again, I must.
Beast Claw. Sick. Alright, and then we're going to go back to see the water. River. Red Dude says, honestly, it seems like a great opportunity to ask this question, Day Niners mods. Did you have a discussion with them about playing this? Do some of your mods not watch this stream because they can't play this as often? Because I usually watch on YouTube where I can control how far Day 9 is compared to my playthrough. I think I don't understand the question. I think I don't. But basically, the way that the proper way to communicate about this is if someone has seen me do something and is asking with respect to that thing that they have seen me do in the past. So, for instance, you may have seen I went through these ruins before, through the Wyndham ruins, and that Tibia Mariner messed my shit up. And I went, Jesus, I'm gonna come back to this guy. What do I even want? Oh, that's because I don't have this thing equipped. And if you saw me at that Tibia Mariner, you might go, hey, did Sean ever finish the Tibia Mariner and the Wind and Ruins? That's great, it's perfect. Raises holy attack, but lowers damage negation. Interesting. I might actually do this. What's this one? I'm just gonna do this, it's fine. So those types of forward-looking, those backwards-looking questions are great. Forward-looking questions are where we get into trouble, or things that emphasize or stress the forward-looking case. And how do you avoid spoilers? Yeah, that's basically how. And there is one rule that we have that allows for some nice variety. Ah, that's right. There's... I think in one of these... You know what? I'm actually curious. We allow for proper noun questioning. For instance, there were people that were saying, has Day 9 fought Altus yet? And Altus is this guy, or excuse me, Astel. Wait, has Day 9 fought Astel yet? The answer was no. Ah, here's where that is. Sick. Sick. And then here's a little bonfire down here. Woo! Proper nouns. People's asking, has Sean been to Mount Gelmir? And I'm like, nope, don't know what that is. Things like that are great, because it doesn't really reveal anything. Like, oh, Mount Gelmir. There's a mountain in the game. It's fine. But if you're like, has Day 9 fought the Lord Queen Janet, who lives at the top of Mount Gelmir? Things like that, we don't like. Because what does that do? It means that when I find Mount Gelmir, I know there's a boss. And then I'm like, ah. Sick. Kerbalcat says, wouldn't asking has Dan fought extra field future boss? We request that people use good judgment with this, because again, like, if there is a character in this game, like, let's say, there's, like, the blacksmith at the Lost Table. If someone's like, has Day 9 fought the blacksmith from the Lost Table? Yeah, like, this, again, ruins event type things. So use good judgment on that. But for instance, if someone's like, has Sean fought Astel? I'm like, no, I don't know who that is, and there it is. Yeah, an available name is great. Yeah, like, because you know, and again, I'm sorry I like harped on you specifically. It was just a really nice example to go for an available name, and it wasn't that egregious, to be honest. But yeah, for instance, if you saw Garank attack you, if you state in that moment what happened to you, oh my god, when that happened to me, I completely panicked. Great. If you say, when that happened, I was freaked out because I didn't realize that this is supposed to happen. And for instance, like now I've actually hit a point where I'm like, oh, I see. This guy, he's missing his death root. He's losing his mind. He's starting to fall apart. Poor baby. Okay. Did you really just dodge me? I'm dead. Thought I hit him. Fuck. Shit. Damn it. Deathblight is awesome. So good. Alright, so let's briefly... creates beast claws that tear through the land. Shadow bait? I'm equipping this shit. And do I have any good ashes for this shield? Vow of the Indomitable? Shield bash or shield crash? Barricade shield? My shield causes madness buildup? What? Holy ground. Oh, I should probably make this a heavy shield, huh? Because I got a lot of strength. Oh, this will lower my guard boost? No, we're going standard. We don't even care. So that's the crash. And Astridax, I feel like there's a question you had that you asked earlier that I wanted to come back to. I have no memory of what it is, and maybe I'm completely wrong. Vow the Indomitable. You know, here's what I'm going to do. Ashes of War. Grants affinities. Granting momentary invincibility. Sick. Temporarily hardening it to deflect greater blows. What's this? Ah, whatever. I'm gonna really harden this shield. I'm gonna really harden this. How do I unequip this? How do I unequip an Ash of War? How do I unequip an Ash of War? There it is. Yeah, because, I mean, I actually quite like this. Sweet! Shield dash becomes shield crash. Ground is so volatile. All right. All right. now it's working. Excellent. All right. So. Oh, hello. Hello. Yeah, why don't you come on up? Oh, yeah, come on. Alright, sweetheart. Nascent butterfly. Yep, there's the bridge I marched to. There's the bridge I marched to before. Well, we have our little friend sheriff here. So, come on up. Come on, sweetie pie. Come on. Okay. What is it? Hi. What the children demand. Let's take this opportunity to give a shout out again to Spellcraft. Beep. Ow. They just announced today, got some buddies working on this, and rather than do our usual, like, hey, I'm playing the game on stream, here's what it is, let's talk about it, they're looking for some playtesters for their alpha. And I would love if you would head on over to spellcraft.com, give it a shot. Morgan01 says, is it PC only? I gotta be honest with you, Morgan01, I have no idea. I played it on PC. And as a fun, unusual twist, because their goal is to get playtesters, and it's free, you can just like play it. It's not like, hey, go here and pay money to play in the alpha. It's just free, you hop in, play it. Rather than talk about how the game works or anything like that, it's focused on playtesting. So I'd love if you could tell them what you thought about the game. Or you can tell me. That's fine, too. Brickscaper says, what genre is it? I believe they're calling it, I keep forgetting it, it's real-time tactics. But it kind of does a thing that a lot of modern games do and look like. A lot of modern games have this kind of feel of... It's a blend of genres to a point where you're like, I recognize this, I just don't know what it's called. That's how I would describe it. I had a lot of fun playing it, particularly the most recent time I played. First time I played, there were some issues, there were some concerns, there was some... I think the biggest thing I felt when I first played it is I was just like, I'm having a hard time even feeling like I have time to wrap my head around what's happening. And then the most recent time that I played, after they had done a number of the changes, I thought that was a merchant. I was about to let him stand up and blow his horn. After they did a bunch of those changes, when I played again, I was just like, okay, this is amazing. Alright, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I really, really, really enjoyed the most recent playing that I played. The Spellcraft developed by? Well, Mr. Gray Screen. If we go back to their trailer, look at this. It's from the developers who brought you Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, Guild, Magic Arena. This is, it's a company called One More Game. So. See, I just have visual aids. I have visual aids for your question, but I have nothing to share with you about the game at all. And so, if you play it and you like it, or if you play it and you don't like it at all, please, please, pretty please, with sugar on top, let them know. Let them know. It was really nice to... it was really nice to play and give feedback and actually feel like the game was changing substantively based upon the feedback, as opposed to, we're early in dev, we really want feedback from play... Oh, shit. We really want feedback from players. It'd be so important to us. Now, whatever you do, we're not changing anything. I do, however, think there is a time and a place for that. Rui versus... So there's no way to see what the gameplay is like? Here's the way I'll describe it. Ruifer. The whole point of having the free sign-up thing is so that you will be able to play it there and go in with as little polluting or influencing thought as possible when you play. This is not a marketing push that's like, guys, look at this cool thing and that cool thing and that cool thing, so buy it! You know? This is they're trying to get playtesting data. So that's why I'm kind of sharing my kind of unusual framing for it. Because it really is not like, you know... Uh-oh. Oh my god, Miyazaki, you gotta be joking me. This is very different from, say, when I was playing Solasta. Which, bluntly, I really enjoy Solasta. And I was able to have a very different call to action. Hey, they have a DLC, it's the Lost Valley DLC, it's 13 bucks. So that's okay. Alaria says, I'm sorry if it sounds mean, but aren't playtesters usually paid? I mean, strong answer is it depends, but no. I mean, Hilarious, the way I would put it is, aren't most games usually paid? I mean, if you're talking, like, really early in development, that sort of thing, like QA, who's testing and stuff like that, absolutely, right? Because often a game is trash at that point in time. And it's like, dude, you need to pay me to play this garbage. And at that point, yeah, it's paid. But when it comes to, take for instance, Overwatch. Overwatch is, by the way, I love this. And actually, I think it's a great question, Hilarious. I really like that. I took a moment because I was kind of like, well, wait. But, like with QA, for instance, early testing that's internal, there's a lot of technical know-how that's required, there's a lot of time that's required, there's just a lot of, like, honestly, pain. And so playtesters at that juncture are, honestly, rarely called playtesters. They're called, like, QA. Or sometimes they're called development. There's design and development in Magic the Gathering, for instance. But typically what'll happen is that when a game gets to the point where they're actually like, I think we got a game that's good, that's solid, we got art in there, we got optimization done. Let's put some people in front of it to verify that we're not full of shit. And that would be like what Overwatch did. Where Overwatch comes out, with their beta that you just downloaded and you played, and oh, look, little rat babies. Hi, guys. And my understanding is that that's what this is. And I say my understanding because, you know, Blizzard famously would be like, this is our technical pre-alpha, barely viable, we honestly think it's trash build. And it's like 1,000 times better than every released product in the decade before or after. So, I want to kind of leave Blizzard out of the thing, you know. So, I mean, given what I played, I mean, there was some, you know, elements that were rough around the edges. Because I played, God, a while back, when I played for my first time. Stand up here for a second. Vampire Earl says, gotta say, it seems like a really easy answer. QA is paid and required to perform function. Playtesting for free. You aren't required to do anything, play or not, feedback or not. That is a easy answer that doesn't provide as much delicious and lavish detail as I could provide. And also, often, there does exist playtesting before an alpha comes out, you know, where a group of people will be brought in to do kind of like what you were describing. And I always love going into the details, into the nitty-gritty, into the in-betweens. Am I currently poisoned? I so am. Okay, so there's areas up here. This is where I came from. Great. The Bribarian is asking about spoilers for this game. Yeah, we've actually done a few times. Hey, it's spoiler time. You guys want to talk about spoilers? Chat away, babies. Chat away, away, away. So we'll probably do another one of those in a little bit. Could have done this sooner. And I think that, like, you know, that there's a statement that I think is actually really important to keep in mind as a developer, that you really, for the longest time it was you only get one launch, and nowadays it kind of feels like you only get 2 launches. You only really get one initial, like, hey, here's a look at the game. Alright, and moving on, you know. Okay, we're back. You know, like, I think Darkest Dungeon is a really good example of this. Where Darkest Dungeon was in... Oh, hi. Was in sort of early access state, and early access has kind of created an opportunity for games and companies to do kind of like pre-release and then do a proper release. But I think that, like, if you're someone like Spellcraft that we've been talking about today, this should connect me back up here. For someone like Spellcraft, dude. I mean, just look at the questions. Oh, come on, get out of here. Just look at the questions that were asked to me. Who developed it? What's this game? Haven't heard of it. And who? And have they worked on anything else, you know? If you're Blizzard, you have no opportunity. Yeah, hi, sweetheart. If you're Blizzard, you don't get to be sneaky and be like, hey, we're having a tiny little beta. Tiny little alpha. We're hoping to have signups. If you're Blizzard and you go, hey, we're having a beta. I remember when Overwatch wrote that they had over 10 million signups for their beta. I mean, holy shit. I mean, that's just fucking ridiculous, man. 10 million for the beta. But how might a Blizzard do their early pre-alpha testing / release slate? I mean, it's quite simple. They have so many employees, they can be like, hey, internal employees, we're wondering if on Friday, as part of your job, you can come. Oops. Come as part of your job and actually test this out. And so I think it's, you know, for a much larger company like a Blizzard, yeah, you really only get that one big release because every news site is going to be covering the shit out of it. Every streamer is going to be like, oh my god, give me a beta key, please. My career will detonate unless you do. Oh, fuck. I'll go up. Sweetie. My career's over. All the viewers are gonna go away from me. I'm gonna fucking throw up. Please. I mean, you got some real concerns. You got some real issues. But that's okay. I think they're going to be fine. Grace says, I'm depressingly familiar with that attitude from some streamers, and we're tiny compared to Blizzard. It's so funny. Heavy weapons feel great. Uh-oh. 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 Here you go. Hey, whoa. Oh. I'm trying to do some cat management. Okay, come on. No, stop. Stop. Despy. I'm gonna move your butt. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, here we go. Kindred of Rot. Oh, these? Oh, excellent. Shots. Incredible. Excuse me. All right. Excellent. I mean, it's one thing to be a little high on the levels. It's another thing to be using a build that seems pretty busto. All right, so okay, just I need you to just not knock things over. Okay, thank you. No, don't. Where's this Kindred of Rot? Poisoning or rotten vicinity increases attack power. Nice. That's actually kind of interesting. I'm actually just going to go back to this thing. Because this heals you pretty quickly. I mean, you can just see in the top. It's just 2 pips every second or so. So let's see, if I was healing 1,000 health, that's 500 pips, 500 pips. 2... Looks like it's 2 a second, so that's 500 seconds. So yeah, no, I think that seems... I'm just gonna keep it up. Just gonna get some water and some coffee. Sheriff wants snuggles, and she wants to go outside. Yeah, I think that's good. Oop. So we just did see the water cave. I mean, it's pretty clear which direction we're heading in. Look at him, he's like... looking for stuff. God, you are just a really beautiful, really sweet cat, aren't you? What a little sweet baby. So, it looks like this branch has the basilisks and the crumbling bridge on that side. Then we have these babies here. Oh, really? We're kidding. You know what? Here is how much I don't want to deal with this. There we go. Now I can one-shot him. Nice. Almost dealing 1337 damage. Oh, whoops, I need to two-hand it. Just a little bit more. Do I have a favorite cat? Mextron streams. My favorite cat is Sheriff, and my favorite cat is Despy. I love one-shotting stuff, man. That's awesome. Also, get some water real fast. Some water and coffee. And yeah, dude, Malachium 2099, I feel the difference with these short swords. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh my god, I'm covered in cat hair. Whatever. Whatever, 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 whatever. Alright, Astridax. Astridax, Astridax, Astridax. I've asked you like 5 times. And I'm ready. I'm ready for your question. Astridax, you were asking about a game project, and I've missed out on all the details. So I wonder if you can, like, really get into that shit with me. Hey, the Killer says, do you have a favorite boss you've fought so far? Absolutely, the original Ancestor Spirit. Sort of by the same token, the Regal Ancestor Spirit. I'm kind of zigzag my way in here. See, I really love journeying through here relatively slowly. Is working on a Metroidvania game based on bugs I originally wrote concepts for as a kid with crayons. Recently came across the drawing while packing up. Oh, that's so awesome. Sorry, dear. Yeah, man, I used to draw levels on graph paper. It was so sick. My grandfather was a mechanical engineer. So we just had these enormous sheets of graph paper. Like, huge. Like, he had a roll that you could just, like, peel out, like, 15 feet of graph paper. As Jack says, the question is regarding the story lining. I'm going to have some even take place that augments the bugs. And while working on the storyboard, I realized that if I have an event at the very beginning, lab, chem, spell, or whatever I decide on. And by the way, I'm sort of reading a little bit out of order, so I'll try to synthesize it after I've gotten your text exactly. Holy shit, it's hot! Oh, that's not even... The manor must be above me then, huh? Astrodax says, I realize this contradicts nearly every Metroidvania Souls-like storytelling, or rather the exposition being presented right away. You actually end up coming across later in the game, in what has transpired here before the player arrives. I mean, I've played some Metroidvania games that don't necessarily follow the Soul-style structure. Shadow Complex comes to mind as having a sort of linear story that is unfolding as things are occurring. Well, that's fucking way the hell up there. Azrax is where most of the meat of the storytelling has actually happened before the player ever arrived. Actually got me thinking more and more about this actual style of storytelling and how it serves more of a sense of mystery and discovery. You know? So let me piece together a little bit of what you're saying for any who are unfamiliar. What's the name of this? Is this the Sea the Water Terminus? Terminus, one of my favorite words in the English language. Love it. The endpoint, the terminus. So, I mean, what Astrodax... Let me try to synthesize what you're talking about and make sure that I'm not full of shit. The game Dark Souls, or even a lot in Elden Ring here, there is a world where something has already happened. And there's so much of the stuff that has already occurred. In this game, when you begin, the towers are already built, the ruins are already in place, the shattering has already happened, there's these demigods that have already taken pieces of the Elden Ring. They're already there. And what's really nice about a setting where things have already happened is that the player can almost consume it like encyclopedia entries. If I take the original Dark Souls, look at this battle that's happening up there. If I look at the original Dark Souls, there's things like Seethe the Scaleless that betrayed the dragons in order to become a lord. You have things like the Witch of Izalith, who tried and failed to reignite a never-ending flame. You know, you have these sort of story things that occurred, and their attempts to rekindle the flame went wrong, and what you're doing is you're visiting these areas, and they're almost little anthologies. There's almost miniature encyclopedia entries and elements and items that allow you to piece it together, which avoids a huge issue that happens in game development: linearity. If you're trying to work on something like, say, the 2013 Tomb Raider that I fucking loved, right? There's this sequence, and then this happens to Lara Croft, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this person says this, and then this happens, and this ability happens, and then this happens. When you have linearity, you wind up with problems like, damn it, the first 3 hours are boring. I think that we need to introduce that double jump mechanic earlier. Now you have to immediately redesign everything going forward, because now you have to take double jump fun from maybe Act 2 of your game and bring it into Act 1, so you have to recreate the Act 2 stuff, and you have to recreate the Act 1 stuff, and this causes cascading issues, then yada, 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 yada. So, something that winds up happening in Metroidvania games is that they rely quite a lot on this style of gameplay. On the style of... Oh. They rely a lot on this storytelling structure and the storytelling mechanism as a way to... honestly, just kind of enhance how the gameplay already functions, where you're sort of wandering and you're exploring and you're learning and you're wandering and you're exploring and you're learning and you're wandering and you're exploring. And you're getting these bits of story pieced together. So, I mean, I think that it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible to make a linear story, an entirely linear story, in a Metroidvania game, and have it be great. I think it's absolutely possible. And I would describe it not as a genre convention or a problem in that way. Whoops. But rather, I would think of it as like, it's just a consideration. So I don't necessarily think you need to or should shy away from making the kind of game that you're interested in. I think that what you might want to do is try to think of what is... As Jack says, I guess what I'm weighing is the trade-offs of these two styles. I have no training in storytelling. I just have a theme I want to flesh out. yeah, I think that there's then a lot of questions of like, okay, well, what are your goals here? What are we trying to do? And by the way, I really love the sort of theme of that there's this river that stretches down. Oops, where is it? Yeah. This river that kind of stretches like this. And at the mouth of the river, there's just a giant gate where there's guardians trying to prevent everything from coming in. Might even be able to just R1 it. I can. One goal that I think is under-talked about, that frankly I'm going to constantly push back on, it's fine if this is just an interest that you have in chatting about, you never develop anything, and you just enjoy thinking about it and chatting with your friends and thinking about it. I have never played an MMO fucking at all. I mean, I have literally opened them and moved around, but I've not been someone who's like, you know, put in a bunch of time and hours and thinks deeply and actually understands the development process. I don't know any of this shit. But there's times where I just ring up a friend, hey, I was thinking about MMOs and I thought this could be cool. And they go, oh, that's fucking cool. Oh, that's fucking so sick. I think it's fine if you're just interested in just thinking about this shit. Ah! So, you know, if you're thinking about these things, you know, part of what you might consider doing is not trying to do them together. So, what's a story about these bugs, this insectoid species? How do they function? How do they work? Just start writing stuff. Just start writing stuff down that's really fucking cool. George R. R. Martin wrote that this is kind of how his writing experience went working on this game, where he created the world and the characters and the stories, and then just bloop, dropped it off with FromSoft, and they did everything else. In his blog, he's even like, it's taking the gaming world by storm, but I didn't really do that much. Really, it's all FromSoft, but it is fun to take a little credit. You know, right? And why do I bring up this example? Well, George R. R. Martin, a very talented author, just wrote a cool world that had interesting conflict and interesting factions and interesting stuff. And then you know what happened? You just walked away. And then someone else picked it up and made a fucking game. Dragon? You could treat yourself like that, Astriadax. You could just be like, what's a really cool story and world, and what this allows you to do is it allows you to not make the decision. You don't have to make some ridiculous choice where, oh, it's just a magma worm, huh? And then later on, you can just look at what you have and be like, what do I think of this? What? Oh yeah, just pull back. What the fuck? I'm stuck. Dude, I can't tell the difference between our models. Oh, shit. Oh, he's pulling. Alright, well that's bad. Oh, the range on this shit. What? He's standing? What the fuck? What is this hitbox? I literally don't understand what's happening. Oh, I had my fucking torch equipped. Oh. Oh. Oh, I had my torch equipped. Well, that really is... It's really kind of weird. I think I was accidentally hitting that button when I was trying to do my L2. Well, the torch block does, in fact, take a shitload of damage. Alright. Ooh. Really like the art in this area now. Yeah, you might just write the entire story and all its events and be like, alright, cool, yeah, that seems good. You might consider breaking out and making kind of like a miniature story. A miniature version of a game. A miniature setting, and just kind of see, you know, what it feels like. Hit it. Mamma mia. What direction am I going in? There we go. That's what's supposed to happen. Got the dragon art. Fuck yeah. Woo! There we go. Still counts. Still counts. Listen, I like watching sumo wrestling. Sometimes you and that other man are going out of that ring, but he touched the ground first, so there it is. Yeah, and I have some more thoughts, but I need to turn on the air conditioner because it is as hot as I am in this house, which means that it's slightly above average in temperature. Alright, there we go. There we go. There we go. So, you know, talking a little bit about this, you know.
Oh, mountain of fire, bake me in your flames.
Alright, alright. Yeah, on this topic of like, oh shit, oh fuck. There we go. Let me talk to this guy, let me walk away, I'll finish this.
Ah, good sir. What business might you have in such a place as this? I hardly think you're here to temper yourself with flame, considering that fleshly form of yours. Your timing, though, is impeccable as
I'm stuck, strike me please.
making just the thing for you on my journey here. Take it.
Let me solo her.
But, it's hardly more than lukewarm here. I won't be able to temper my body such that it'll never crack again. Perhaps I'll head eastward. There's an old saying I've caught wind of. Above the lofty clouds, the icy giant's peak doth soar.
Oh yeah.
Here lieth the flame of ruin, which ever burning roars.
Yeah, even I have heard.
Perhaps I'll... There's an old saying above the...
Even I have heard about let me solo her. Let's cosplay a little bit here, shall we? Heaviest that we got.
Perhaps I'll... There's an old saying
All right.
called above the lofty clouds.
All right, so Astrodax, let's talk a little bit about some thoughts when it comes to designery stuff. Oh shit, there's nothing back here. Nothing back here, nothing back here, nothing back here. You know, sometimes you'll wind up in a situation, what the fuck, where you have some constraints, and the constraints are really helpful. Like, let's imagine that you have said to yourself, we're gonna have a combat system. Or actually, okay, I want a game where you have 3 movement abilities and 1 attack ability that's melee. And I want to try to figure out how to make that fun, right? I don't care what kind of game it is. This is just an example. Let's say you want to constrain it like that. So then, let's say you start working on this, you start to discover to yourself, wait a minute, what is that? Oh, shit. Sick. That's Caria Manor. Oh my god, look, here's the pool. There's the pool where I had the boss fight in. So this should be where the 3 towers are. Yep, there's one. Here's Saluvus' Rise and Ronnie's Rise. Sick. Fuck you, game. I hit B to back out. So you say to yourself, yeah, you know, let me try to get going some combat stuff, start making, then you realize to yourself, yeah, you know what? I don't think I can make this interesting if I just have 1 attack ability. I think I'm gonna need a second one. And then, so you add that in, and then you're starting to find that you're struggling to make your levels that interesting, and you feel like some more movement mechanics might help you out. And then you start to feel like that you're having this problem where you now have 5 movement mechanics, 3 attacks. You're starting to run out of buttons on your controller. And this is obviously an ultra simplified, fictionalized example. What this allows us to do is allows us to point to, yeah, you know, sometimes you're in this situation where you're going, ugh, I've figured out a way to design levels So that way, the players use a reasonable balance of all the different movement abilities and all the different attack abilities. But I mean, it's so ridiculously constrained at this point in time that, like, I'm having trouble making the levels, but I do have one good level. How do I make this work? And it can sometimes be really nice to just go, dude, let's just take a big step back and start to do things piecemeal. Let's ignore the mechanics entirely. What just seems like some cool controllers? Or, not controllers. What seems like some cool levels? Seems like some cool levels. And just make a level that's cool and kind of imagine yourself playing through it. And imagine something that's completely different. And then maybe what you wind up doing is you come at it from that perspective where you just go, screw everything I've done so far in terms of work. What are some cool levels I feel like I can't realize? And then maybe what you'll do is you'll start making a bunch of levels, and you'll start to say to yourself, man, you know what, this seems really cool. I'm starting to get a sense that actually, if I use these 4 movement mechanics, none of which I had in my original build, it would work well in all of these. Oh, sick. Yeah, I'm actually feeling really good about this. So suddenly, you bailed on the previous set of constraints. Here's the attacks and the movement abilities that I want in order to make cool levels. And you've ditched that in favor of going, okay, yeah, yo, like, how do I realize these levels? Oh, actually, it creates this entirely different set of movement abilities. And lo and behold, I'm happier with how it came out. I still have no idea how these things work. Or even what these things are. I have no idea. I don't know. Whatever. So in other words, you were working with an existing constraint. You were having some troubles. So what did you do? You just completely bailed on it. So, you know, thinking back all the way to your... I'm trying to make a Metroidvania where there's this sort of story, but I'm having a conflict between an intersection of these elements. The conflict with the intersection is, like, how to unite this story with level design in a way that seems suitable to Metroidvania. Just start removing constraints. And this is not a generalized problem-solving process. This is just a technique, right? Because it's also good to keep adding constraints, to keep adding constraints, to keep adding constraints. I mean, this is like how you'll see me build decks in Magic the Gathering, where I'm like, okay, this is a really fast format, so we need a finisher that can come out on an early enough turn. Okay, now we're going to add more constraints. Here's the 2 really good meta builds that are aggressive. And you add some more constraints. Oh, okay, there's this one control deck that seems to be able to deny my... What the fuck is this? Oh. It's a bear. a sweet finisher. The rune bears are not bad if you just get really close, like just under their tummy. Yeah, I mean, like, you see me add constraints when I'm, like, working on a magic deck, you know, something like this. And I'll do that with problem-solving processes, too. Okay, if we add these constraints, what's nice about constraints? It lets you eliminate certain possibilities more quickly. Ooh, what about this idea? Ooh, we can't do that, because remember, this constraint means that we have to have abilities that... Or, you know, if we're using our level design example, we have to make sure that the abilities... don't ruin this kind of level mechanic, because we think that having this kind of level mechanic is important. Now you'll be able to start making statements like this thanks to your constraints. But sometimes, in the process of adding the constraints, what you've done is you've over-constrained yourself, and you can no longer do any. You no longer do anything. It's almost like you've said we need to come up with a number. It needs to be bigger than 5 and less than 2. It's like. Those two things are at odds. And honestly, when it comes to like intersections, or I should say when it comes to the difficult part of games, I think most of it is in the intersection of systems. And my favorite example, I've used it to death, so let's use it again. Alright. That was like a guy that complains on Twitter, huh? Yeah, I basically skipped almost everything that was right here. Not intentionally, just sort of like incidentally, this is the direction I've gone. One of my favorite examples of systems intersecting in a way that stinks is combat and stealth. A number of times there's a stealth game where I'm sneaking and then I get spotted, so I kill everyone that's there. And I'm like, well, sure feels sneaky. I'm so sneaky that everybody's dead. You know, the intersection of things is hard. I want to briefly see something. We're almost there. We're almost at the point where we can equip both of these, and the Scar Seal and the Poise, and have a fucking medium roll with this thing out. I don't even know if I want it, though. I kind of like our tankiness build. And so I find that, like, you know, intersections are where constraints happen. Ah, okay, we can't have an ability that deals damage like this, because then literally there's no reason for anyone to use this stealth mechanic, right? Like, intersections are where you start having really big problems and really big issues. And I think that, like, the way I like to think about doing something creative, like writing a book or working on a game or you know, anything creative, is there's additive activities and there's subtractive activities. If you put a game in front of 100 people and you are halfway done, you're still not sure what your game is, or still not sure what your book is, or whatever it is, you'll tend to get subtractive feedback. I didn't like this, that was confusing, can we get rid of that? Here was this problem, can we fix this problem? This is an issue. You're trying to subtract away the issues, right? And when you think about intersection of systems, there's a lot of subtractive type problems that will emerge, you know? Things like, ooh, I had these 10 cool combat and 5 cool stealth abilities, and they're really not playing well. So I'm going to need to cut some things, edit some things, remove some things. The flip side of this is additive. Ooh, what's another cool weapon? Another cool sorcery, another cool ability, another cool level, another cool story beat. More. And I think that especially when it comes to feedback collecting, or trying to push things towards finalization, the subtractive weight starts to really peel things in, starts to really peel things. And it can be really constricting. I like to feel like the additive is what creates the clay, and the subtractive is what molds it into something nice. In other words, if you start trying to fix problems, address issues, edit, remove frictions, things like this, fundamentally subtractive activities, If you don't have any clay, you have nothing to work with. So it looks like this maybe spirals up like that, and that I've maybe gone the wrong way, so whoopsie daisies. Oh my god, Doc Holiday TV! What up, Doc Holiday? Fuck yeah, man! How are you? Thank you for the raid. Hey, Doc Holiday, dude, did you see ASL 13? Oh, those finals were nasty. I'm actually really happy with the results. Alright, horse parkour myself to death again. Poly crossbow. Bring me down to Doc Holiday. Lovely human being, creator, who loves the greatest game of all time, Brood War, a great deal, and that's where I got the chance to spend more time with Doc Holiday. At the Holiday Bash parties. It's good stuff. Yeah, BSL's been great. Dude. Oh yeah, that's right, my brother's LAN is this weekend. My brother's doing another StarCraft 2, StarCraft 1 LAN. Do I even have enough? Alright, it's looking close. Hey, have a good night, Velrun. Thanks for recording my deaths so diligently. You have a good evening. Is this really... Are we going to be doing it perfectly? Ooh. Ooh, that is good stuff. So what's the name of this one? Craftsman Shack? Is there perhaps a craftsman nearby? Perhaps not. Oh, we're 4 bosses away from felling 100 bosses. Sick. Where's these screechers at? Oh. Ooh, wait, I forgot to do something. Been meaning to do this. Been meaning to do this. I just think I need not that much stuff. Hi, Des. Hello. You can come on up if you want. Feeling flashy, big and smashy. That's me. It's your pal Shondo. Shondo Calrissian. Oh. Dude, video game. But I mean, like, one of the things that I really like about the original Souls games, including Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, sometimes even Dark Souls 3, and Elden Ring, is you can feel this additive focus in the design. Where they're like, alright, let's add 3 different types of spells. Sorceries, incantations, and arcane. Let's have different ways to purchase them. Some need, like, dragon hearts. Some of them are learned in different locations. Let's put in all these sorts of different weapons. Let's put in crafting. Let's put in every different type of encounter imaginable. Like, you can feel all these elements. Let's put in bows and arrows and bolts and ballistas, right? Like, this weapon has been a completely different style than my Naginata, which was a completely different style than my longsword, which is a completely different style than tons of other people's stuff that I've seen, you know? Like these like dual wielders that have like a staff and a katana. Are these guys fighting or are they a team? They are a team. Like, how many games, like, I mean, I don't even need to name one for you to just go, yeah, I can imagine that. How many games are you familiar with? How many games have you seen where, if we asked ourselves the question, how many weapons are there? It would be like 4 weapons. How many ranged things are there? 1. There's 1 ranged thing. It is a bow. But it can have different ammunition. You can have regular arrows. You can have fire arrows, right? And, you know, when you look at, you know, how high quality are all the weapons? Are all of them perfectly unique and perfectly distilled? I mean, there's some that are more similar than they are different. Certainly. But what I want to stress is that, I'm not trying to make the value judgment of good or bad, or right or wrong, or anything like this. All I'm trying to do is observe that there is an additive force going on here. There's someone in there that's like, put in more things, 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 put in more things. And is that the Grand Lift of Dectus? It is. Super sick. There's an additive force. And I think that when it comes to, hell, a lot of the early Blizzard stuff, like, dude, Warcraft 3 is the perfect example that I can think of additive force. All right, it's going to be an RTS, and you're going to have a hero, and the hero can level up, and there's a miniature skill tree for how you can add more power to these abilities, and there's ultimate abilities, and there's a miniature inventory, and there's creep camps you can kill that give you money to help with your base building and drop items to put the fucking things in. The heroes, like, every idea fucking made it into that game, right? Oh my god, there's shops where you can hire neutral mercenaries. There's neutral heroes that you can go to and hire. There's a shitload of different neutral monsters. There's actually almost more neutral monsters. So many neutral monsters, there could be like an entire faction of just neutral monsters. Can we get off the fucking horse, man? Oh, time to play with Des. And the thing is that, like, there's a truth to this. Which is that it is really hard to do balancing and manage to include all of these various components in the game, right? That's absolutely true. It's absolutely true that if you start putting in heroes into the game and you have 3 different heroes per faction, how do you make sure that there's not, like, a best hero? How do you make sure you don't make that mistake? How do you do that? You know, how do you make sure that the neutral items that drop don't wind up being too luck-based? How do you do that? You know, and we could rattle off a ton. And again, I'm not trying to make the judgment of good or bad, right or wrong. I'm trying to highlight what I mean by additive forces. Ooh, let's put these things in. Versus a subtractive force. Ooh, how do we balance this? How do we do that? I'm concerned that there's not going to be a mishmash of this. But if we view these additive forces, or additive techniques, again, as giving yourself more clay to work with. then yeah, if the original Warcraft 3 Classic was not great in terms of balance, but then Frozen Throne comes along and addresses it, you know, we might describe that Frozen Throne did a lot of the subtractive work. It restructured the way that damage and armor types functioned. It did a lot of rebalancing with how the units worked. It made sure, for instance, that Mass Spellcaster wasn't just, oh, what the fuck is that? Headshot. You know, like, I think it's awesome to have something that is as rich as Warcraft 3 that you're trying to balance, as opposed to something that is really, really, really flat. I don't think of an RTS where that was actually the case. I frankly think that intuitive behavior, especially if you're in a large team with a large group and stuff like this, almost always waits on the problem. Almost always waits on the problems. Ooh, I was playing this early version of Warcraft 3, and I'm not sure I'm on board. You're beautiful. I'm not sure I'm on board with you know, how neutral item drops work. I think it's going to lead to unhealthy gameplay. I really think we should rethink or maybe get rid of that, because, like, I played against Gary, and, oh, you know, he got good items, and I didn't. And, I mean, there was nothing I could do. It was really unfun. And then Gary goes, yeah, no, it was really hard. It was a really big issue. What the fuck am I talking about? Yeah, like, it's very easy to justify removal of things. And, you know, is there some issues with that system that we could point to that might be real and might be concrete? Sure. But I want to stress, people play games because of the presence of fun, not because of the absence of problems. If you remove all these things that could potentially have problematic, imbalanced, unfair-seeming bullshit, no, don't worry, we got rid of all of those things in our game. Congrats to us. Is there anything on these roofs? Nothing? Cool. If you get rid of all of those, you wind up with the common thing that happens in development, where there's like an alpha, and people are like, yeah, the game's really boring and sucks. And they're like, well, we worked hard to make sure that there's a whole bunch of these problems that are addressed and solved properly. Is this the hermit? Oh, let me tell you, this guy's done. Is there a game left? Yeah, no, and I actually think that a lot of hard edges. Fuck. Fuck this. Oh, shit. Alright, now we got it. Oh, shit. Fuck. Right after I said that. It's time to kill them all again. Hello. Fuck me. Ugh. Yeah, no, I was talking about this, like... Oh, oops, not this one. Talking about this trend in games of, like, you know, culling, removing, deleting. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so important if you are trying to do something creative. You don't focus so much on the subtractive side of things. And I think it's just unbelievably easy to fall into that. Guys, I'm thinking of taking this game, Elden Ring, that we're working on. Like, let's imagine that the previous Souls game didn't exist. Someone said, hey, you know, I think we should add spells. Someone goes, what problem is that solving? The answer is, well, no, it's not that it's solving a problem. I just think that it would be, like, really cool to have. Well, I feel like we should just focus on instead making our game really about basic weapons and how you manipulate and use those basic weapons. I think that that makes a lot more sense for what we're trying to do here. Where is the... This is magic damage negation. Magic. You know, you just feel those subtractive conversations, those subtractive forces. I don't know, I think we should just focus on the existing ones. Or you make a simple version of spellcasting, and people try it, and if they feel like they're allowed to subtract... Oh, you know, I tried it. It just was not as fun as the basic sword play. So I really think that we should instead just cut it and focus back on that, and I'm glad we tried it. No, fuck that shit, man. Put things in games. I play games to play games. Oh, Jay-Z, you finished fucking Severance? Is that not the game? Is that not the game? That is the game right there, man. I love Severance. Uh-oh, wrong button. Oh, shit. All right, now we're okay. Oh shit. Gotcha. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Alright. Memory stone. Memory stone. Oh, alright. Why was my alarm going off? Oh, that's right. Because this is typically when we take an Elden Ring break. See the swirly twirlies up there. Oh, is this? Oh, Oh, we're directly above Seathwater River. This is incredible. Mango Goose's memory stone. The most comfortable stone to sleep on. God, it's so good. Alright, so additive versus subtractive. So I think it's like... Subtractive is when you're trying to address things where people are like, ooh, that really is an issue. Who the fuck is this? What? Who? Comet Azure. Comet Azure. I assume connected to the word azure, which is a type of blue. So a couple landmark notes. So here's the bridge that I was like, oh, that bridge is out. So the Seathwater Cave is actually right there. It's right here. Here's where about 30 minutes, an hour ago, I was killing those basilisks. You can see that we're looking straight at it. Go. Very thick, huh? So... $60 fucking intelligence? Never. Never in a million years. So I think, like, subtractive is, ooh, that's an issue. Oh, I'm glad that's not an issue anymore. But additive is like, oh, that's fucking sick, man. That's so fucking sick. You know? And you want to make sure that you're adding enough to your game. Adding enough to your work. And I think that, like, there's interesting exercises about, like, all right, just start aggressively listing, like, what's going to be cool about this? What's cool? How do I put in more cool things? How do I make shit awesome? I can't believe I lived. Tuesday Twist's old RTS were so good at, oh, that's fucking sick. Yeah, man, like, dude. Like, I played Command & Conquer 1 that was released in 96, I want to say. 96, is that right? 96? Command & Conquer. 95. Damn it. Fuck, that's old. September 95. Open up. What do you know, Joe? Could it perhaps be a tomb? What's the name of this? Primeval Sorcerer Azure. Curled all the way up like this. Sick. Go down the hatch. Like, Command & Conquer 1 had, like... There was just tons of ideas in there. Like, the resource, Tiberium, covered the entire ground. And when your infantry would walk across it, they would begin to die, because it's poisonous to people. Your tanks and your vehicles could run over infantry. Infantry were like... were therefore kind of trash. You had things like the Hand of Nod. That was a giant building with a hand gripping the earth, and that was what produced infantry. You had the Obelisk of Light. Gelmir, Hero's Grave. Oh, another one of these fucking things. Alright, is this the way to the grave? Sick. You had strikes in the original Command & Conquer, where you could, like, charge up an ion cannon And it literally was just a cooldown, it'd be filling, and then when it was ready, you just click, and then you'd click on the screen, and the ion cannon would just blow up anything that was on that location. Or Nod had a nuke, where you could just pick a location, and it would just, like, detonate everything in the air. I mean, it was, like, ridiculously unfair. And again, let's focus on that word. Unfair. That's unfair, man. Oh my god, infantry suck. Oh my god, they're terrible. They just get, like, obliterated by all the vehicles. Oh man, infantry can't even cross Tiberium. Ugh. You know, oh my god, Nod? Nod's just way better than GDI. Just way the hell better. Oh, because the resources are really far and spread out. There's not really a good way to control territory in the game, so you just build a bunch of harvesters and you build the fast units like buggies and bikes, and you can just like take control of the entire map instantly. And if your opponent messes up once, you can just go to their base and just destroy their command center. And in Command & Conquer, if you destroyed someone's command center, they were then unable to build anything, okay? Okay, like, things like this. There were a lot of problems that if you took any RTS player today and put them in front of Command & Conquer 1, they'd be like, ugh, man, this game is so broken. It's so stupid. Oh my god. And yet, it produced incredible fun moments and spectacle and awesomeness and insanity. That's what I'm talking about. That's the additive shit, man. I have the ability to summon a comet if I get level 60. I take no damage right now with my shield. I'm just in-fucking-destructible. Especially if I remove this and put back on my shield talisman. Yeah! So I have like almost 100% shield block. Let's go. It's fucking sick, man. So that's my statement. That's my statement going through those deburdening exercises. How can I get additive? How can I build? How can I contribute more so than how can I delete and prevent and avoid pain and things like this?